Welcome to exclusive diaries for inspiring relationship stories that touch your heart. Subscribe to stay up to date with our latest content and join us on our journey of love and connection. My wife is ruining my life. I've been with a girl for a year. I always thought that something was weird or missing. I always felt like she was giving me 50%, but she told me she had a long history of abusive relationships and an abusive childhood. I wanted to be it for her, so I bent over backwards. Whatever she needed or wanted, she got. But our sex life was tumultuous and rocky. She told me she wanted to wait for marriage, which I agreed to despite the fact that I've slept with dozens of women, and I know she's had a past sexual history. We finally got married. Literally, the day after we got married, I found out she had a felony warrant for fraud in another state. Then I go on my company iPad, which she was using to find hundreds of photos of credit cards, identifications, and opened mail of other men. I find pictures of her taking vacations during our relationship with other men. These are times she told me she couldn't see me because she wasn't feeling well. I found conversations about how she intended on selling her engagement ring immediately after the wedding. Funny thing is that she says she accidentally dropped it in the bath and it went down the drain. We finally have sex and it was honestly terrible. I finally tell her that it's over and I'm filing for an annulment. She hits her leg to the point of drawing blood and causing a huge gash. She made false allegations to the police that I sexually assaulted her. I get out of jail 2 days after charges were filed, and I had to plead out to a misdemeanor, but the charge of sexual assault has not arisen yet. I finally find out she has a boyfriend who she's been fucking every single day. And I also find out she's been using her Instagram as a business to lure men, have sex with them for money, and then exploit them. I am shocked. I'm hurt. I feel like my life has been absolutely destroyed by someone that I love. Has anyone ever heard of anyone commuting such a fraud against someone else? Comment. 1. That's a lot to unpack. I personally used to dismiss claims of women falsely accusing men. Then 2 things happened. A relative's wife accused him of assault. He sat in jail for 2 months, went to trial, and it came out that she was high on pain pills and lied about it. Funny thing, she was never charged. Had my own personal experience with crazy. Luckily, the whole thing was quickly resolved at the time the police showed up when her own family collaborated with me that it was BS. Assuming you're telling the truth, I feel your pain. I really wish these false claims were actually followed up with the crown and these crazy cunts were charged and thrown in jail. The power they hold in these situations is beyond disgusting. Now for the next story. My wife of 4 years is demanding that I spend more time with her and our baby. That's not really possible with my job. No solution? Because of my work, I spend anywhere from 10-12 hours a day at work. I've been in my profession for just over 5 years, so my wife, then girlfriend, knew what my life was like before she married me or before we decided to have a baby. I did warn her that I probably wouldn't be able to change much after our child was born. There are definitely times where I wish my schedule was a little more flexible, but for the most part, I enjoy my work and have no desire to change things, which puts me at odds with my wife. This is my problem. Ever since my wife got pregnant, she has been pressuring me to commit to working towards some outcome that would allow me to spend some more time with our family. This has only gotten worse since she gave birth to our first child 3 months ago. I have no doubt that at least part of this is due to how exhausted she is from doing the majority of childcare. I will be honest. Most nights when I get home, I shower and head straight to bed. I try to help as much as I can, but I know it's not as much as I should be doing. Weekends are somewhat better, but I still have a lot of work to do. I can tell that she is getting more frustrated with me, but I don't know what to do. Part of me resents her for putting this pressure on me. I told her that having a baby wouldn't make any difference in my schedule. I don't set my hours, so I have very little control over how much I work. I don't think it's fair for her to be upset about something she knew about before we made the decision to become parents. On the other hand, I know that she's not being unreasonable. I understand that she's within her rights to expect help raising our child, and like I said, I wish I could do more to help her. The only option or way I can see to be around more is for me to change jobs. It would mean a decent pay cut and probably doing work that I find less interesting, not to mention the end of my career. So I am hesitating to start down that path. I think this is what she wants me to do, but it is hard to say because lately we've done more yelling than talking. Neither of us is happy right now, and I'm not sure if I'm being unreasonable or if I'm right to refuse to change my job. I guess I'm hoping that someone can give me a neutral perspective. TLDR, wife wants me to change jobs so I can spend more time with her and our baby. I think that she's being unreasonable since she knew what my work life was like before we were married or became parents. We can't seem agree on the right path. Comment 1. You need to find the time to be more present for your wife and child. You acknowledge that you aren't doing as much as you could be and that you don't wish to change. That's tough. The kid isn't going away. If you don't reach a compromise, this is going to ruin your marriage. Comment 2. The time for worrying about who is right and who is wrong and who is being unreasonable is past. You lost the right to worry about such things when you went ahead and had the baby. The baby doesn't give two shits about why you're fighting, but it damn well knows you are, or will soon. The baby didn't ask to be born to a father that places his career over the happiness of his family. The baby didn't sign up to have a mother that ignored repeated assurances that its father wouldn't change his schedule. You and your wife need to act like adults and figure out how you can make this work. Have you talked about compromises? Like using some of the money you would lose if you took a pay cut to hire a nanny for a few hours a day or a maid to come in once a week? My personal opinion, which I do not make any claim is correct, is that you should not have agreed to have a baby if you just come home every night and go to sleep. Even if your wife wanted to go ahead, I think you had a responsibility to realize that you are not willing to do what it takes to be a father, so you shouldn't, actually become a father. But since you don't have a time machine, it doesn't really matter. Comment 3. The Army. More importantly, a specific community in the Army. OP hasn't responded to my inquiry, but my current SO is in a situation like unto this. It's not even possible to ask for less hours. If he did, at best case, he'd be denied, at worst, kicked out of the program. Those hours are the bare minimum of what's expected of him. There's a lot in OP's vernacular that would suggest this is the case, at which point I find everyone's assessment of him a little despicable. It's not that he wouldn't prefer to work fewer hours and maybe spend more time with wife and child, it's literally that he can't. Obviously, that's just speculation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.